politics. Julie Kay and I were talking, leading up, like the seconds leading up after that interview. I hated to stop you from finishing your point, Julie, because I feel like we can have you here all day talking about politics because there's always something happening. I'm sure Julie would want to stay here all day and talk politics.
Read my mind.
All right. So, Julie, you're following not only the mayor's race, but city council races. Filing week, are we a week down already? More than a week down?
Yep. Filing ends next Friday at noon.
Wow.
So we're about halfway through the process. There's, of course, the first day where everybody who's really excited goes, and then there's the trickle in. We're waiting to see. People are waiting for the mayor. We now know that Mayor Lyles is filing again. And so now that that's out there, I think we'll see it kind of pick up again next week.
Who did you speak with? I know we were talking about this earlier, but who did you get a chance to speak with today?
So I've talked to a couple people running for different races. A main interview I did was just with the Board of Elections. So I talked to Michael Dickerson. He's always been great. And we just talked about kind of the importance of these elections, period. Every single Charlotte City Council seat is up for re-election. The mayor's seat, of course, is up for re-election. We can get into that. But even some surrounding towns. Cornelius, that's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah.
He's the one who brought up last year 5 votes separated the winner from the loser, and those 2 people have refiled again. So if you're thinking, oh, it's a local election, like my vote doesn't really matter, these have lower turnouts. Typically, of course, it's not going to be the same as like a presidential election. So that means your vote might matter even a little bit more, especially if you're up in Cornelius, Davidson, one of those towns where there's only a couple of races on the ballot.
A lot of the change happens on the local level. I mean, that impacts you here in your local communities is on the city council, the school board, obviously the mayoral race. Speaking of the mayoral race, as far as Charlotte, I know you talked about Cornelius. So Mayor Lyles plans to run for re-election. This is her 5th term, going into her fifth term.
Yeah.
Who else is in the mix? Do we know who else is in the mix?
There's one person who's filed officially so far, and this person's run quite a few times before. But that was even before Mayor Lyles said that she was going to run for re-election. We got that news in yesterday, and that does kind of set the tone for the race. Of course, as you mentioned, she's won plenty of times before. What's interesting, though, is former Mayor Jennifer Roberts came out and spoke about this. So I'll pull up her tweet here. She said, just saw that Lyles announced she'll be running for yet another term as mayor, waited until filing was halfway through to announce. Charlotteans should have choices. It's a challenging time for our city and county. Maybe I should sign up to run again, ... Emoji.
Oh, that's
dramatic.
That's very interesting. Because she's very big on access of voting accessibility, like folks, equity around voting. That's her thing, right?
Yes.
So it's just interesting that it was kind of like open-ended. Did you get a chance to talk to her? Is she speaking? I know she is someone who likes to talk, and I should say is willing to talk. I should say that.
I've reached out to her, and it's only been a couple hours. I haven't heard back yet, so I'm not going to say no on that yet. But I am interested to see eventually. I'm sure she will say something. What that ... means.
Yeah.
I did speak with her a few months ago when City Council was kind of going through its most tumultuous time
remember that.
as of late. And I said, hey, as a former mayor, do you have any advice for them to get through what's going on right now with the alleged, that we now know, not alleged anymore, payout with CMPD Chief Johnny Jennings, and these text messages between Jennings and Tark Bakari, and somebody voted it, but they didn't, all that drama. She said, transparency is really what we should be pushing for. So let's have somebody in charge of FOIA requests or Freedom of Information Act requests so that people and journalists can get the information out there quicker. And let's figure out what we are and are not allowed to say about these closed session meetings. Let's get some clarity, because there was a bit of confusion from the interim city attorney about what was allowed to be said and what wasn't. We did get a little bit of that clarity. They did come out and explain. They released the information about the settlement as much as they could. So that's interesting, but that, as you said, voter access, transparency, that's been her biggest push. So we'll see what that means for her. There's still another week left, but definitely an interesting tone to set for that race.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of transparency, hopefully we hear from her.
Sure.
All right, so let's get to City Council, Charlotte City Council. You mentioned Tark Bakari, who left for the Trump administration. That seat has been filled temporarily, but that's an open seat. That's a hot seat. Do we know who is I guess I should start. Who has filed so far?
So far in District 6, it's
Yeah.
just one person, Kimberly Owens, and I'm speaking with her in about 30 minutes
Okay.
here. So she and I are set up on Zoom, so I'm interested to see what she has to say
Okay.
because this has been quite a hot topic seat. We do know, confirm that Krista Bakari, as she said she's going to run, she will be filing Monday. I got
Okay.
that confirmation from her, so that will be interesting. She said this whole time she was going to, but you know, like I mentioned, there's kind of the rush at the beginning, then the trickle, and you're like, okay, are they going to do it? So she will be on Monday.
Okay.
That makes this race interesting. Of course, you mentioned Tarek Bakari left this seat vacant when he went to join the Trump administration. That was filled temporarily, and currently is filled temporarily by Edwin Peacock. He has said, you know, I am not running to
Yeah.
be elected. I am here just to fill the space. I'm someone with knowledge of city council, knowledge of Charlotte government politics. I'm just here to represent District 6 for the time being. That is what city council said they wanted, was somebody who did not have any interest in running a campaign in the very few months that they'd be filling this seat. So he has not filed. He has said he's not going to. So that's kind of that. Krista, though, did put her name in the hat at the time to fill that seat temporarily. So
Right.
that's what makes this interesting. It actually came down to, although she was clear she wanted to run to fill the seat full time, it came down to, and council gets to make that decision, a split vote. So actually Mayor Vilaus had to be the tiebreaker for that, and she chose Edwin Peacock. So that was really interesting. Will create maybe an interesting dynamic on council if Krista is the one to win. She is a Republican, of course. Kimberly Owens, the only person who's filed so far, is a Democrat. So that'll be interesting too. We're working on a partisan race here. A lot of the districts are very much like, this is a Democrat district. This is, well, the other one is Ed Driggs' district. That's
Yeah.
a Republican district. This one, I'm be interested to see what that looks like.
Right.
But of course, with Tark representing a very staunch Republican, now working for the Trump campaign or Trump administration, it'll be interesting to see which direction the seat goes.
Very interesting. And oh yeah, on top of that, we're not going to get into it. Julie is tracking things for 2026 because things keep evolving. So I'm not going to ask you anything about that. We'll save that for another time.
Shivers down my spine at the word, Nick.
Julie Kay, covering all things politics. Thank you for your time, Julie.
Thank you.
All right.